That is the craziest prison escape of all time. And if you want more insane moments, the wildest police chases, criminals who made entire cities look stupid, and the escapes that literally changed laws, click this video right here. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's start with the dumbest escape that somehow actually worked. In 2018, a group of inmates at Walker County Jail in Alabama figured out that the number on their cell door matched the keypad code for the lock. So they grabbed some peanut butter, smeared it over the door number, and waited for a new guard to come by. Now I need you to think about what happens next.
12 of them walked out. No weapons, no tunnels, no plan. Just peanut butter and a new guard having the worst first week of his career. Bro really got outwitted by a condiment.
Okay, so that was stupid luck. But this next one, this was a love story. A terrible, terrible love story. Casey White was serving 75 years in an Alabama prison. And somehow, in there, he managed to charm the assistant director of the jail, a woman named Vicky White. 17 years on the job, weeks away from retirement. She had sold her house, cashed out her pension, and bought a getaway car. Now watch what she does on her last day of work.
She told her colleagues he had a mental health appointment. Then she drove off and never came back. They became the most wanted couple in America for 11 days. U.S. Marshals found them in a motel in Indiana. Vicky rammed the car. Casey gave up immediately. She did not make it out alive. The woman had everything and threw it away for a guy who was serving 75 years. I genuinely have no words.
All right, now we're getting into the stuff that doesn't feel real. Because this man, a convicted murderer serving 2 life sentences, literally mailed himself out of a federal prison. Richard Lee McNair had a job in the prison mailroom repairing canvas bags. And over time, he built a hidden compartment inside a giant pallet of mailbags. A little escape pod with a breathing tube. He climbed in, sealed it shut, and waited. A forklift picked up the pallet, loaded it onto a truck, drove it straight through the prison gates. The heat inside was so bad he said sweat was running into his eyes and he could barely breathe. But he held on. The moment the warehouse workers left for lunch, he cut himself out and walked away free. But it gets better, because minutes later, jogging down a highway in prison clothes with no ID, he gets stopped by a cop. And instead of running, he starts talking.
10 minutes. He talked his way through it for 10 minutes. At one point, the officer literally said out loud he was looking for an escaped convict and still let him go. The cop later said he felt sick watching that dash cam back. McNair stayed free for 18 months before being caught in Canada. A man with 2 life sentences mailed himself to freedom and then casually talked his way past law enforcement. Honestly, respect. Don't tell him I said that.
In 2015, 2 convicted murderers at Clinton Correctional in upstate New York spent months cutting through the steel walls behind their beds. Power tools, smuggled in by a civilian worker they'd been manipulating. They went through brick, through steam pipes, through a maze inside the prison walls. And when they finally crawled out through a manhole into the freezing New York night, they left a note on their beds. It said, "Have a nice day."
3 weeks on the run. A nationwide manhunt. Eventually, Matt was shot dead by Border Patrol. Sweat was caught 2 days later, just miles from the Canadian border. But that note, though, that's either the coldest thing ever written or the funniest. Probably both.
Okay, everything so far has been impressive, but this is where we go from impressive to genuinely unhinged. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, leader of the Sinaloa cartel, held in Altiplano, Mexico's highest security prison. Cameras, guards, the whole setup. One day in July 2015, guards go to check on him. The cell is empty. There's a hole in the shower floor.
Below that hole was a tunnel stretching over 1 mile, fully lit, ventilated, with a motorcycle on rails inside it, so he didn't even have to walk. His people had been digging from a construction site outside the walls for an entire year, while guards were walking around on top of them. El Chapo didn't escape prison. He had a private underground highway built beneath one. He stayed free for 6 months, gave interviews, met with Sean Penn, and was discussing a biopic about himself before Mexican Marines finally tracked him down. He's now in ADX Florence in Colorado, 23 hours a day in solitary, and I'm guessing there's no shower in that cell. That was one of the most unbelievable prison escapes ever recorded. But trust me, there are even more insane stories out there. And if you enjoyed these escapes, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next story is even crazier. You don't want to miss it.